Hello, and welcome to Peace and Podcasts. I am your host, Aaron Gorley, and we're all the way in chapter 20 of Peace and Precipitation, which is the lovely young adult novel that we get to read together, or at least you get to listen to it, I get to read it. But yeah, we're all in chapter 20, so we are like right at the end here. We have chapter 20 and epilogue, and that is about it for the book. So I do have a couple of Q&A episodes and probably a couple special guests as well. So I'll probably keep going a few more episodes past the end of the book. Hopefully you will enjoy that as well. But we are finishing up the end of the book. So we kind of stopped last with Jen after her embarrassing moment, trying to figure out life and finding out that the youth pastor and the youth pastor's wife that she kind of bonded with are leaving. School kind of sucks still, and things are not going great. So she's kind of recovering a little bit, but then she still kind of has this kind of newfound relationship with God that she's kind of feel like she's maybe a little bit closer to God, and it's going well on that end, but then her actual life is not going good despite these moments that she had. So, all right, so we're going to get right into chapter 20. And let's go. All right, chapter 20. Thursday was better. Jen counted only 2 people that had made fun of her for the infamous video. It had been 3 weeks since the play. As of last week, the video had over 26,000 views on YouTube alone, which boggled Jen's mind, considering there were only about 4,000 people who lived in her entire community. But Thursday, only 2 people had made fun of her. A new record, breaking Tuesday's record of only 3 people making fun of her. Jen picked up the pace as she walked toward the bus. Jen had recently made a habit of getting everything she needed to go home for the day during lunch so she could make a break for it once school was out instead of stopping at her locker to get to her things. She didn't want someone ruining her new record with an insult or joke. But just as she turned the corner to make her way through the last hallway toward the exit, she heard a guy's voice yell to her, "Hey, Jen! Hey, Jen!" Jen almost didn't turn around, but he was actually calling her by her name and not "my baby" or "girl with the mental mom" or any other number of degrading adaptations that the other students called her in the lunchroom or the hallways away from the teachers that might actually stick up for her. She turned and saw one of the guys that went to youth group. Dylan and his friends Francisco were a couple of guys Reverend Adam met at the park. They had begun coming to youth group every week. As Jen turned and Dylan walked up to her, she caught a whiff of smoke or some kind of incense. It wasn't fresh, but smelled as if he had washed his clothes in burnt leaves the day before. "Jen, hey, did you hear about that D-bag Reverend dude at church? He, fired Adam and Lindsay." "No, really?" "Lindsay told me they're leaving the church, but she never told me why." "Yeah. One night I overheard the Reverend all, yelling at Adam because he showed us his shoulder tattoo. And he started saying that all the kids like us that started coming were bad influence on the church. And how we cuss and stuff. And that we were going to lead people in the church astray and all this bullshit." "Really?" "Yeah. And then 2 weeks after that, Adam was fired. It makes me mad. Adam and Lindsay were chill AF." "Yeah, that's stupid. I had no idea." "Yeah, bro, I'm pissed." Jen paused for a moment. "Really, bro?" "Well, I guess it's better than a lot of names I've been called the last few weeks." "Yeah, that sucks. Hey, I gotta grab my bus. I'll talk to you later, Dylan." "'Kay, deuces." As she walked to the bus, all she could do was think about how Reverend Shepherd fired Adam and Lindsay. Typical. The only people that ever attended church that were actually cool got fired. Makes me not want to ever go to church again. Jen walked back to her seat and sank down and buried her face in the green vinyl. Jen was ready for the day to be over and go take a nap before Lena got home. She turned slightly toward the window as to not look at any students that came on the bus. In a perfect world, she would have sat in the front as she was one of the first stops, but she knew that the annoying students from the intermediate school including her brother Ronnie, were going to enter, and sitting towards the front, so the middle would have to suffice. Jen was trying not to pay attention to the guys coming to the bus. Part of her was hoping that if none of them would remember to make fun of her, as they had done many times the last couple of weeks. She sat slumped down, turned toward the window, and pulled her hood up. Her backpack was propped up on the right shoulder, making a mini wall, as she stared left out the window, pretending not to pay attention, even though she was listening to every word, hoping that if the bus drivers didn't notice Jen, the taunting wouldn't occur. As much as Jen was beginning to grow immune to it, she looked forward to the day when the teasing would cease altogether and become yesterday's news. She heard the steps first. They were more like stomps than steps. "Whatever, shut up," said the adolescent male voice. "I will not. It's not my fault you can't get a date," added another sassy female. "I really can't blame her, though. You are annoying AF. "Yeah, he is," called another male voice. "Guys, won't you shut the hell up, will ya?" said the first voice in frustration. "Hey, what I tell yins about language on my bus?" Everyone froze in shock from Betty's sudden interjection. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, Betty." "Sit down." As the students turned to sit down, the girl saw Jen and hesitated for a moment. She stood at her seat staring at Jen as if she was trying to figure her out. Jen caught a glimpse of her out of the corner of her eye, but couldn't really make out who it was. "Hey, I'm Sophia," she finally said. Jen turned and realized that it was the girl she'd met in the bathroom after that rough day of play practice. "Oh, hey, yeah, I'm Jen." "Yeah, I remember you from the bathroom, right?" "Yeah, maybe not my best moment, but yeah." "Nah, I thought you were cool." Yeah, I guess." "Hey, is anyone sitting here?" No," Jen said, suddenly surprised that someone had asked to sit by her. "Okay, cool. Thanks. I'll sit here then. I didn't know that you rode the bus with my loser cousin." "Oh, yeah," Jen said, trying to sound unbothered by the intrusion of her seat. Sophia plopped on the seat next to Jen with an army green backpack that had patches on it. One said, "Crazed and Confused." A whiff of Sophia's perfume, which smelled like an oddly pleasant mixture of soap, flowers, and bug spray, filled the seat. "Well, how's it going?" Sophia said, adjusting her backpack on her lap and leaning back. "Fine," Jen said, nodding her head, unsure of what to say to the girl that she didn't really know. "Hey, I want to ask you something. So are you like the girl in that video with the mom that yells out at the play or whatever?" "Yeah," Jen said with a sigh. "Oh, okay. Yeah, I was curious. I thought it was you." "Yeah, it is me. Super embarrassing, and I wish people would find something to do other than watch videos about my crazy mom." "Yeah, I saw it. I don't get the big deal." "So what? Your mom yells a little crazy like in front of people. Big deal." "Yeah, I know, but you don't know what she's like all the time. It's not just that. It makes me think of all the other stuff my mom, Jen said with her eyes rolling. Obviously, this girl has no clue what it's like. "Yeah, but at least your mom cares about you. I would take that over my stupid junkie mom. She loves me and my brother almost as much as she loves drugs." Jen was taken aback, unsure whether Sophia was telling some kind of weird joke or just being really honest with someone that she really didn't know. An awkward, "Oh," was the only thing that she thought to say in reply. "Sorry, I guess it's like weird that I just said that, but it's the truth, and the truth sucks. That's what I'm saying about your mom. She's a little strange, but at least she, cares about you." "You don't think your mom cares about you?" "I mean, she says she does, but then she goes and wrecks our family in order to do more drugs." "Yeah, but, I heard that it's like a sickness like anything else, like addiction, you know? You have to, go to rehab and see a doctor." "Well, let's just say it's a good thing I'm better at school than my mom is at rehab." It sucks. My mom once showed up to a parent-teacher conference completely high as F. I had to tell my teacher that my mom had been in the hospital and that she was on medication. Truth is, my mom had been gone for 2 days. I had no idea where she'd been. Wow, crazy. To be thankful for your mom, even if she acts a little crazy now and then. Yeah. It's crazy. In my house, I literally have to, be the grown-up and, pay bills and everything. It's, nuts. Really? Yeah, I do that in my house, too. Really? Yeah. Wow, I thought I was the only one. Huh. Yeah, it sucks to be the grown-up and everything in my house. Yeah, I always had to fight with my mom to let me do the bills so she'd get it done right, Sophia said, shaking her head in annoyance. Crazy. Yeah, for me at this point, my mom, knows I do it better than her, so she doesn't even fight me anymore. Well, that's good. I wish my mom would do that with me. Instead, I have to fight with her about it, and she yells at me like she knows what she's doing, but she doesn't. And then she yells at me if I do one thing wrong, which she does it wrong every time. My brother and I are at my weirdo cousin's house the next couple days when my mom tries rehab for the 4th time. At this, Sophia looked Jen right in the eyes, almost as if to find an answer to a question that she didn't ask. Jen returned her glance. I'm so sorry, Sophia. A pair of tears trickled down Sophia's face. Although Jen didn't really know Sophia, she felt like she needed to encourage her. She suddenly felt empowered to tell her all the things she wished she could tell herself. She felt warm and had goosebumps as she began to speak. You know what, Sophia? She's lucky to have a daughter like you because you actually care. You are strong enough to handle this whether you feel like it or not. You can do this. There are so many kids who don't even care about anything, but you care enough to support your whole family. You have a heart strong enough to do this. It will get better. Your mom is going to get better. I don't know why I believe this, but I do. One day she will thank you for how you held everything together and for still caring about her. And God sees everything you do, and He has plans for your life too. And you can do it. And At this, Jen had to stop to catch her breath because there were so many words that came out at one time. That was the most she'd spoken to another person for weeks. She could see the pair of tears had turned into dozens on Sophia's face. In her best voice through the tears, Sophia said, That was... She paused to cough. Exactly what I needed to hear. Jen paused and whispered, Me too, I think. Sophia grabbed Jen and did her best to hug her, sitting beside her between backpacks and green vinyl seats. Sophia's wet cheek pressed against Jen's, and her soft pink and purple hair tickled Jen's nose and made her giggle. As they embraced, they were swayed forward as the bus came to a halt, and they let go. Well, I gotta go. This is my stop. Bye. Bye. And Jen? Sophia looked right into Jen's eyes as Jen stood, pausing to say goodbye. Thanks. Something about the way Sophia had said the word seemed to have more meaning than it typically has. Jen smiled and walked down the rubber-grooved center aisle. She caught herself in the mirror wearing a big smile. She attempted for a moment to push the smile away, but found herself again smiling a moment later. Ronnie even noticed. Jen, what are you so happy about? He asked in a legitimately curious tone. I don't know. I think I just helped that girl, Jen said, ending her sentence in another smile. That's good, Jen. It feels good to help people, Ronnie said with an intonation that was more asking than telling. Yeah, it does, Jen said, continuing to smile. Jen walked up the drive, past the rose bushes and broken cement. She felt a little exhausted, like she'd given a tiny bit of her soul away, yet rejuvenated. She recalled how her body felt after a good workout, tired yet filled with accomplishment. Jen glanced up at the sun and the clouds and felt that the world was a slightly better place. And that was chapter 20. All right, so we're just about kind of wrapping up. Jen's kind of found a new season and different things with, maybe a new friendship with Sophia. That's going to be continuing to blossom and go. That's sort of the end. I go back and read my writing. Like I feel like there's a couple parts that I generally am very happy with, like these last couple chapters that I wrote. There's a couple things here and there. It's like I wish I would have wrote that like a little bit different. I wish like when I wrote the thing about that boy Dylan, telling that Adam and Lindsay had been fired, that she was maybe a little bit skeptical instead of kind of just like taking it and like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay, definitely, that's definitely what happened. I think in real life she probably been like, that makes sense. That probably happened, but it is this random kid Dylan saying this, so I don't know if I'm going to believe it right away. So I think that's how I would have wrote it. I know it's only slightly different, but it kind of annoys me like a little bit now. It's like, I like that. But sometimes my writing gets a little repetitive as well. But I do like the interaction between Jen and then this character Sophia, who was very nice to Jen at the beginning of in the middle of the book when we saw her last, when she kind of like comforted Sophia. Sophia comforted Jen when Jen was like crying in the bathroom, kind of thing. And now it's this time it's Sophia's doing, getting a little more emotional and everything like that. And a couple of things I want to bring out here. I'm not gonna make this super long. A couple of things I want to bring out. Which is like the first one is that sometimes in life you can feel so alone. Like, oh my gosh, I'm like the only person that feels this. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's sort of a reoccurring theme in the book that you're not alone. And here Jen thinks that she's like this only person. So, this has this mom that makes her life so difficult. And Sophia kind of gives her a little bit of perspective. Like first, okay, she's not alone. Like Sophia has a mom that, doesn't have a, severe learning disability. She has other issues, man, like, drug, addiction, which, I think as Jen's listening to Sophia, she's like, man, I don't know if I would, that sounds low key worse than like stuff with my mom. That's kind of what Sophia is saying. Like, like, hey, like, so it kind of puts her in perspective a little bit, when you've lived a very little bit of life, like adolescents are, and really grown-ups, like full-on grown-ups have this issue as well, but like, adolescents probably even more so. They feel like, I'm the only person that, I know for me, I'm the only person dealing with that. But for me, like as a person a little bit older, like I don't know, I just meet you. The more people you meet, the more you're like, I'm not the only one that deals with this. And think about in like Ecclesiastes where it says there's nothing new under the sun. Like, there is so many times where we're not alone. Like we sometimes think we are. We feel like we're all alone and we're the only person that feels like that. And it's not true. And, I've said this many times in this podcast, but like people are happiest in community. Like when you have a good community of people around you, that's when people kind of thrive the most, so hopefully Jen and Sophia are able to continue to maybe be there for each other, give her perspective that, we're not the only person dealing with this stuff, and life can be difficult with that. So the other part I want to kind of bring out is, just the joy Jen generally felt like after helping kind of like Sophia, after just kind of like speaking, I don't know how better way to say it, but like speaking life into her. Like, do you know what I mean? Just saying like all this uplifting stuff to like Sophia to like help her with everything going on. Like, I think there's like 3 things that kind of happen when you're able to like help other people that kind of make you feel better. I think the first one is it kind of just like when you're helping other people, it kind of just gives you like a break from your problems, right? Like legit, you don't have to think about your own problems for a minute. And I think like that is like right away really refreshing because like we are the only ones that are in our minds. And I think sometimes we feel like we have to like think to death every single thing, like, or we just like, I don't know, like I feel like guys probably like think problems to death and like girls feel them to death, right? I was thinking about that community. I had a professor in college one time that thought it was interesting. He said that, men communicate to pass information and women communicate to connect. And I always think about that. I'm like, wow, that is so true. And I could it's a whole other podcast. I could just talk about that by itself. But in saying that, it's just kind of saying it's very easy to get in your thoughts, whether you're really feeling your problems or you're really trying to think to solve them. Either way, we're the only people that are very easily get absolved in our own issues and stuff like that. So, just take a break. Be like, hey, I'm gonna put my crap aside for a little bit, and I am going to just think about helping other people. I think that really is healthy mentally, and it kind of makes you, puts you in a good mind space just to kind of take a break from your problem a little bit. I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why we sleep as humans, right? We just need a break. Or maybe just God needs a break from us. You guys suck. I need a break, right? No, I'm just kidding. Maybe. I don't know. But no, it's seriously, you can take a break from your problems. I think really can help a lot. I think the second thing that it does is that you are kind of making the world a little bit better place. There's something kind of feels good with hey, that person's better off, hopefully. Sometimes you don't always know that, but I think there's kind of some solace, some good vibes you feel when you're man, this world is a better place because I did that. That person is feeling better. And there's just something that kind of comes with that, man. I don't know what it is, but just you have this kind of sense of, I guess self-satisfaction, I guess, that hey, I was able to make this world a slightly brighter place. And then the third thing, this is what I believe, people believe different things, but I think there's a kind of joy that comes when you are doing something that you were designed to do. And I think people are designed to help other people, to love other people. I think all of humanity were designed to love God and to love people. I think those two things are true. And I think that there's a good joy when you are doing those things, when you are caring about other people. And then the other thing too, just, it kind of goes in circles, right? Man, in my life, a lot of times I've been around people where I help people and I was an encouragement to them. And then couple months later, those same people that I was, kind of going on my way to encourage them, they come back and encourage me and are able to kind of bring me joy and happiness, man. So I just feel there really is just a really good feeling that comes with that. And I think sometimes the people that are the most unhappy aren't the worst people. Not because they're a bad person, but they just kind of they get sucked into the black hole of just trying to focusing on their own stuff all the time. And I think those are the people that tend to be the least happy. I've met some very nice people that are very unhappy because they're just very, very focused on what's going on in their own lives. It's not even selfishly. I don't even think those people I've met that are unhappy are overtly selfish. I don't even think they're really selfish people. They're just people that have kind of got stuck in only thinking about their problems kind of thing. And when you're able to put that aside, take a break from it, help the world be a better place, and kind of do what you're designed to do, I feel there's just a deep inner satisfaction that you get with that. And it's something that kind of Jen feels the end of the story, where she was kind of really stuck in all of her problems, which were real. Those weren't not real problems. Those were real things, right? But because of that, she was able to really get her mind off those things, help Sophia, and it started to go good. So we are right here at the end of our book here. It's crazy. I can't believe that we're like on chapter 20 already. We literally have an epilogue and like some fun episodes that I might have like some guests with and different things like that. And that's it. I mean, we are like right here. So, I hope you've been enjoying it. I've been hard at work writing the sequel to this book, and I'm not going to quite announce the title yet, but yeah, it's been going good. So, man, we'll hopefully release that by next year, and maybe we'll even do a podcast out of that one, even though it's quite a bit longer. So you'd have to really be stuck with me, which might suck, but who knows? Well, in the meantime, much love to all of you guys. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy these last few episodes of Peace and Podcast. Goodbye. Love you. Bye.